If you're watching this and you're an older man or approaching older age, I want you to take a breath and relax for a moment, because what we're going to talk about today is something many men worry about quietly, often late at night, but almost never say out loud. In my clinic, men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even beyond sit across from me and lower their voices before asking this question, as if it's something shameful, something childish, or something they should have outgrown by now. They ask me, "Doctor, is it normal that I still feel the urge to masturbate?" Or they ask the opposite, "Doctor, I've stopped doing it completely. Is that okay?" Or they ask the question behind today's video, "If I don't masturbate at my age, could that actually harm my health?" I want to be very clear with you right from the start. This is not about morality. This is not about masculinity. This is not about being weak or strong. This is about biology, circulation, hormones, the prostate, and how the male body ages over time. As men get older, almost everything in the body slows down. Blood flow changes. Hormone levels shift. Muscle mass reduces. Nerve sensitivity alters. And the prostate, which is a small gland that most men never think about until something goes wrong, becomes more central to their health than they ever expected. The prostate is not just a passive organ sitting there doing nothing. It produces fluid. It responds to hormones. It reacts to inflammation. And it relies heavily on healthy circulation and regular physiological activity to stay balanced. When men are younger, the body takes care of a lot of this automatically. Spontaneous erections are frequent. Ejaculation happens naturally through sexual activity, nocturnal emissions, or masturbation. As men age, those automatic processes become less frequent, not because something is broken, but because the system needs more conscious support. One of the misunderstandings I see constantly is the idea that stopping masturbation is somehow cleaner or more dignified as you age. Many men believe that once they pass a certain age, sexual self-stimulation is unnecessary or even harmful. Others stop not by choice, but because of stress, medication, loss of a partner, erectile changes, or emotional fatigue, and they assume the body will simply adapt without consequences. But the prostate doesn't work on beliefs. It works on physiology. When the prostate produces fluid and that fluid is not periodically released, it can contribute to stagnation. Over time, stagnation can increase local inflammation, pelvic discomfort, and in some men, worsening urinary symptoms. This does not mean that every man who stops masturbating will develop disease, but it does mean that regular release has been associated with healthier prostate function in many clinical observations. Another thing that often surprises men is the relationship between ejaculation and circulation. Each ejaculation involves a coordinated sequence of muscle contractions, nerve signals, and blood flow. Think of it as a natural internal exercise for the pelvic region. When this process disappears completely for long periods, especially in men who are already sedentary, pelvic circulation can become less efficient. This may contribute to feelings of heaviness, dull ache, or pressure in the lower pelvis that many men dismiss as just aging. In reality, it is often the result of reduced movement and reduced physiological activity in that area of the body. Hormones also play a role here. Testosterone doesn't vanish overnight, but it does decline gradually with age. Regular sexual stimulation, including masturbation, can help maintain a healthier hormonal signaling pattern in some men. It doesn't turn back the clock, and it's not a magic fix, but it sends the body a message that this system is still active, still relevant, still in use. When that signal disappears entirely, the body tends to downregulate even further. This can affect mood, energy, sleep quality, and even motivation. Many men tell me they feel more flat emotionally after years of complete sexual suppression, and they assume it's depression or personality change, when in reality it's often a mix of hormonal and neurological understimulation. There is also an emotional aspect that we cannot ignore. Masturbation in older age is not about chasing pleasure like a teenager. It's about maintaining a connection with your own body. Men who completely disconnect from their sexual function often begin to see their bodies as foreign, broken, or irrelevant. This mindset can quietly erode confidence and self-worth. I've seen men who stopped all sexual expression after losing a spouse or entering retirement, and over time they didn't just lose libido, they lost a sense of vitality. Reintroducing gentle, pressure-free self-stimulation often brought back not just physical sensations, but emotional grounding and calm. Now, I want to address a fear that many men have but rarely say directly. They worry that masturbation might somehow use up what little sexual function they have left, or that it will weaken erections further. In reality, the opposite is often true. Use maintains function. Just like joints stiffen when they are never moved, sexual tissues lose responsiveness when they are never stimulated. Gentle, regular activity helps preserve nerve sensitivity and vascular responsiveness. Again, this is not about frequency or performance. This is about maintaining baseline function so that the body does not shut the system down prematurely. It is also important to understand that masturbation does not need to look like it did when you were younger. There is no schedule you must meet, no standard you must reach, and no comparison you should make. For some men, occasional release is enough. For others, more regular stimulation feels better. The key is that it should be comfortable, pressure-free, and aligned with your health, not driven by guilt or fear. Men who force abstinence often carry silent tension, while men who allow themselves healthy expression often report better sleep, less anxiety, and improved overall well-being. I also want to speak directly to men who have been told, explicitly or implicitly, that sexual desire in older age is inappropriate or embarrassing. That message is deeply harmful. Sexual function is not a switch that turns off at retirement. It is a biological system designed to last a lifetime, even if it changes form over time. When we shame men into suppressing it completely, we are not protecting health. We are often undermining it. So what might happen if you don't masturbate at all in old age? For some men, nothing dramatic, especially if they remain sexually active with a partner. For others, especially those who are single, widowed, or dealing with erectile changes, complete suppression may contribute to increased prostate congestion, worsening urinary symptoms, reduced pelvic circulation, lower mood, poorer sleep, and a gradual disconnection from their own bodies. None of this happens overnight. It happens quietly, slowly, over years, which is why many men never connect the dots. As a urologist, my role is not to tell you what you should or shouldn't do morally. My role is to help you understand how your body works so you can make informed, shame-free decisions. Masturbation in older age is not mandatory. It is not a treatment, but it is a natural, low-risk way to support prostate health, circulation, and emotional balance for many men. If you choose to include it in your life, do so gently and without judgment. If you choose not to, make sure that decision comes from understanding, not fear or embarrassment. The most important thing I want you to take away from this is this. Aging does not mean shutting parts of yourself down. It means adapting, respecting your body, and staying connected to it in ways that support your health and dignity. You are not strange for having these questions. You are not weak for caring about this part of your health. And you are not alone. Every man who sits in my office asking this question is simply trying to age well, and that is something worth respecting. If this conversation helped you feel a little more informed, a little less ashamed, or a little more at peace with your own body, then it has done its job. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, and remember that your body is still yours at every age.